Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon from the 313. Alex, the sports mouth of the 313, is back with us again this morning. Glad to see you woke up, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, yeah. I'm up, man. Ready to go.
I know you're freezing your ass off in Detroit, right?
What's funny? I always, sometimes the other podcasts I do, they'll bring that up, and I'm like, you know what? It is cold over here, but I got a fan on me right now still.
Right? That's that weird thing, man. That mix of like trying to, shit, I'm hot under the blankets, but it's cold as hell outside.
Right. Well,
let me open up the window and let me maybe put on the fan, but then I got the space heater on. It's like,
that's funny because I've been doing that, like, because, I'm not I don't sweat like that, but I tend to, because I got a lot of supplements in my body. I woke up, drank a pre-workout, put some Mega Man Sport vitamins in my body. I do a little workout, try to get my blood pumping, and then I'm like, damn, I'm tired like 20 minutes later after that, but ain't getting no younger. So, but yeah, that's funny you say that, because I woke up like 4 in the morning or something, confused, like, geez.
Well, hey, it's that time again, man. It's Sunday, and I am your host, Tony Twist. This is the ATW All Things Wrestling podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We have a really cool guest that I can't wait to intro here. But hey, if you're joining us on Instagram Live, come on over to Facebook. The link is in our bio. So please jump on over and join us on Facebook, so you can catch us in the StreamYard, or as the 313 Sportsmouth like to say, the yard. So, hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you guys are ready for a jam-packed show. We're going to talk everything wrestling. I want to introduce our guest, who is out of Los Angeles, California, goes by Luchacat, is an amazing Chicano artist, Javier Sorlosano, and I'm bringing him into the yard, man. Let's bring him on in. Good morning, Javier. Are you there?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Thanks for joining us, bro.
I'm doing good.
So we're in Los Angeles right now. We're in Arizona, and we're in Detroit, Michigan. So we're almost coast to coast right now, man. So tell us about what's going on with you, man. We want to hear all about you. You're an amazing Chicano artist out of Los Angeles. You're a comic illustrator, wrestling fan. And as you know, this is All Things Wrestling. And are you rocking the JWO, the Jimmy's World Order?
Jimmy's World Order. Great store. Love the crew over there.
If I ever get to LA, man, I got to go there.
Yeah, you do. They put out a ton of great events and meet and greets, and the staff there is just super friendly. And it's like a family business, so they're a lot of fun.
So tell us all about you, man. Luchacat, comic book shit. There's always an origin story, right? So where do we begin?
How deep you want to go? I mean, I've been drawing since I was like a little kid. My dad was he worked at a commissary for a restaurant. He'd bring home these giant sheets of butcher paper that I'd drawn.
Right.
He'd bring home magic markers and Sharpies, and from there, I started hanging out with my cousin Jesse, who introduced me to comic books, right? Like, he showed me The Pit. He showed me Spider-Man. He showed me all that stuff. We would hang out in the back of my mom's pickup truck just reading comics and drawing. And then my older sister was the one that got me into wrestling, because she would watch the Saturday morning WWF show.
Oh, I remember that.
With Mean Gene, right?
Right.
On that recap,
Saturday, what was it? It was a wrestling challenge, right?
Right. So that was where I got my first glimpse of like professional wrestling, because I didn't up until that point, the only stuff I had seen in a ring was like boxing, because my dad's a huge boxing fan.
Awesome.
Sports mouth right there. That's the boxing guy right there.
Yeah, there was a couple good fights on last night that I got to make up and watch today. That's awesome, though.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, compared to boxing, the wrestling back then was just so much more colorful, like crazy, cartoonish almost.
Right.
Like, it's perfect for a little kid to sort of get just engrossed in it.
And believable, and still believable though back then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would watch the recap videos with, like, well, back then it was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And then from there, watching just taped like VHS matches of like Randy Savage, Steamboat, and those guys from the 80s. And then my mom and my sister would take me to the swap meet, and that's where I started seeing like the Mexican lucha libre stuff, because they'd sell the masks, they'd sell the capes, they'd sell the little action figures that are like this.
Right. yeah.
Right.
You can't move them. They don't bend.
Yeah, and from
Do you
there,
remember the ones as a kid? I don't know how old you are. This could be dating me, right? It was all the WWF. They were like kind of rubbery, but you put your thumb like in the back. It had that like a little hole. Put your thumb in it, and then you kind of move them around.
Those were the thumb wrestlers.
Are those the LJN figures?
Right.
I can't remember. I just know I had Hogan, I had Macho Man, Andre the Giant. Like I said, that could just be, I'm 41, so that could just be dating me. I mean, I don't know. I had all those, Hulk Hogan obviously was the man growing up. I don't know. So growing up, when you're watching that WWF stuff, who was your favorite wrestler?
WWF, the first dude that caught my attention was Bret Hart.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Just because I saw a clip of him and like Mr. Perfect. I think it was SummerSlam.
SummerSlam 90 was it, or no? Yeah, I can't remember. It was 91. I think. Yeah. Yup. That man. Whew.
Yeah, dude. I mean, up until that point, I was just seeing like the recaps, and then you see like a full Bret Hart match, and I realized like, oh my god, like that guy is.
Kurt Hennig was amazing, man. That match, I watched that match maybe 6 months ago, and I was like, wow. I said I was gonna watch it again, and I was like, let me give it a little bit, just because it's like perfection. And the way Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, the way he would bounce off, when he would hit his head off the buckle, and just like. He was taking those crazy bounces. Yeah, he everything he did was just it was perfection, man. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was. So that was the first one, but then when I got to see videos of like Randy Savage, like that was my dude.
Macho Man.
Yeah, because he had the voice, he had the glasses, he had the like. At the time, it was the robe and then the jacket,
right?
With the cowboy hat. Like it was just like so much for a little kid to not like. I was trying to imitate his voice as a kid.
Right.
I was playing with my cousins, and as a kid, I know that we're not supposed to do it at home, but as kids, we were wrestling all the time. And Randy Savage's move and Bret Hart were moves that I could do to my cousins, right? Like I didn't need to pick them up or anything.
Right, you didn't have, exactly. Yeah, and that's funny you say that, because yesterday on the other podcast, the Mother to Father podcast, we were talking about things. One of the topics was, celebrities that we like try to emulate, that we grew up that we liked, and try to like dress like, like either whether it was wearing a glove like Michael Jackson or I had said that I used to go. I don't know. I still don't know why. I might have to ask my mother later. But she did a lot of crocheting, sewing when I was younger, and she would always have like the jogging pants strings. But there was a bunch of them in the drawer for some reason. I don't know what was going on.
She had a bunch of drawstrings in the drawer.
And I would take like 3 of them and tie them around my arms and just be running around the house like doing the Ultimate Warrior music. You know what I mean? Like. Just stuff like that, and emulating Macho Man. I say using my nephew as a wrestling buddy, and just diving off my mom's dresser in them, and it was crazy. But
hey man, before technology, we had to get creative.
Exactly, for sure. Yeah, we didn't just sit there on our phones and all that, and we didn't get to watch TV.
No, not that much.
Amount of hours either. Yeah, no, they didn't put up with that.
Especially on the weekends, man. It had to be like, get your ass out of the house. I don't want to see you. I'll see you at dinner time.
Exactly.
And in the summer, shit, I don't even think I ever saw my parents.
Right. Till it was bedtime, morning and bedtime.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, those were the guys I would watch on WWF, and then on Saturday afternoon, AAA out here, because I didn't know the channel for CMLL. I would watch AAA, and I loved Octagon and La Parca. Like those dudes were, again, just so outlandish, so especially La Parca. That dude was
entertaining as hell.
He was hardcore, like like those were my guys growing up. And growing up, I would just play with the bone crunching action figures, the Jax rubber arms, right?
I remember
when my sister got me the Bret Hart one. I was like, well, this is the greatest action figure ever, because this is
right.
This is like
and Bret Hart
that exists.
And Bret Hart made the pink made it cool, made the pink very cool. So
and Macho Man rocked the pink and the purple and all that too.
He did.
I mean, the wrestlers back then, man. I mean, for these big ass dudes, they were, very flashy, flamboyant. It was just like as kids, it caught our attention, man. I mean, what's the name? Jesse the Body, also.
Oh
with the purples and the boas, and Hogan with the boas. I mean, it's like it's crazy. Like, they were just everybody. They had to be as flashy and flamboyant as possible.
Right.
So hey, if you're just joining us, we're live on Facebook. Appreciate for joining us this morning on a Sunday. We're getting you hopefully before you start watching football. But hey, we're talking wrestling here, and we're joined by an artist from Los Angeles, California, Javier Sorlosano, Luchacat. He's telling us all about growing up and the wrestlers he liked, he enjoyed watching. Now, how did that kind of transpire into art and where you're at today? Like what inspired you? Where did the Luchacat idea come from? Obviously, I see you sitting with the black cat on your lap, so must have affinity for cats. Alex doesn't have his cat roaming around, but he does have a cat somewhere
cleaning himself.
So tell us all about that, Javier.
So for sure. I mean, when I was a kid, I had a pet dog. I had a few pet dogs, and in school, whenever we had like story time, I wouldn't just write. I would always draw something with my stories, and it was always about me and my pets. Me and my pets going on adventures, me and my pets joining Spider-Man, right? Because of course Spider-Man would hang out with me in LA. And as I got older, that drawing energy got shifted into drawing like my favorite wrestlers. Mm-hmm. So I would draw Macho Man, I would draw Bret Hart, I would draw Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, La Parca, all these dudes, Eddie Guerrero. And I never, throughout all of that, I never stopped reading comics. Like I was always reading like Justice League, X-Men, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. And
just like trying to be a sponge, trying to just
dude,
keep them ideas rolling.
And it wasn't until I was actually in college, I majored in film and media, that I kind of realized like my wrestling idols as a kid, right? Like all those dudes were real life superheroes because they were doing things that the normal average human could not, right? I'm never going to be able to jump off of a steel cage and not like destroy my body. The same way that I'll never be able to like swing from the top of buildings like Spider-Man and not like dislocate my shoulders. And that was the first sort of idea that got in my head about like, hey, comic books, wrestling, wrestlers, luchadores, it's all kind of the same, right? And I always say this to like a lot of people I meet, is that pro wrestling and lucha libre are like storytelling at like its ultimate endpoint. All manner of storytelling starts in places that wrestling is already very fluent in. And the example I like to use is like the Avengers, right? That last one with Thanos, when all of the people like make their comeback, right? And you see the videos on YouTube of people like cheering when Black Panther came back from the dead. Like, that's no different than like Chris Jericho returning at the Royal Rumble, right? Like that's the same energy. And
great point.
And especially in like lucha libre, these guys all have like real life secret identities. Like we don't know who Mil Máscaras is to this day.
Right.
He's been wrestling since like the 50s, and we don't know what he looks like. We don't know who he is, right? And the same goes for like even current guys like Rey Fénix and Pentacero, right? Like we don't know who those guys are.
Right.
And that just got stuck in my head, and I started writing comic books about that. My first comic book was called Luchissimo, which was a libre comic book about a fan turning into a wrestler, right?
Cool. That's cool.
But as I would watch wrestling in my living room, right, my cats here, Coco and Pizza, would start chasing each other.
That's awesome.
They'd start chasing each other and just sort of roughhousing and tumbling around. And I was like, this is kind of the same thing going on here.
Man.
Something just kind of clicked. You're like, I got something.
I had a notepad and I just drew a very quick cat with a lucha mask. and I thought it looked kind of cute. I was like, oh, this is very like, if I was a kid, I would love this, right?
Yeah,
this is because I mean, especially in the 90s, if you liked wrestling, there wasn't a lot of places outside of WWF and whatever your local telecast was where you could see wrestling, because it was not on SportsCenter anymore. It wasn't like in the news. It wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Right.
And so I just thought of myself as a kid and thinking like, oh man, something that sort of combines all of these things I love, like wrestling, comic books, and animals, right?
Yeah.
It's like I grew up loving animals. I got that from my parents, but from there I started drawing one Luchacat, and then I thought, well, if you're a kid, if there's more Luchacats, it's more opportunities for more kids to identify with somebody in the story. Right. Because that was something that I mean, a lot of the stuff I watched as a kid was like Ninja Turtles, X-Men, Power Rangers, Justice League. There's always somebody that you can like latch onto.
Right.
And there's somebody else that your friend can latch onto. So when you play together, you know, you can be like, well, I'm going to be Superman, I'm going to be Batman, or I'm going to be Wolverine, and I'm going to be Gambler, you know. So I made a team, and two of the cats in the story are based on my cats, and this is Pizza right here. So he's
awesome.
He's the pizza cat in the comic book is based on him, and Coco in the comic book is based on Coco, but she doesn't do videos, so she's not gonna come out.
She's shy, camera shy. So hey, what year would that have? How old would you have been when you first really put that down? Were you saying you were still like a teenager? Or?
No, I was an adult already when I had the Luchacat idea.
Okay.
Because I had already put out Luchissimo, and that was sort of where I was putting my energy. But then this idea came up, and originally I made it as a T-shirt design. I didn't intend for it to be a comic book. I made a Luchacat character that looked like the old Mario Brothers 3 cover.
I saw that.
I'm looking
really
at that
cool.
right now, and that is, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was gonna say, yeah, that shirt, that's really, really cool, man. For real, that's sweet.
Thank you.
Because I've seen a lot of those, but and I've seen this one before. I seen it on the SD, and I didn't. Now I know that's you. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, when I made that design, it just made sense because luchadores are always doing the topa over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put that out, and as I would do comic conventions, and I was already doing a few wrestling shows at this point, kids would ask me, oh, is there a comic book? Is there a story for this shirt? And then I kind of realized, like, oh, this could be a thing, right? So from there, I fleshed out the story, did the team, and then I put out the first issue in 2020, and that was the first issue, which was it was Super, this one. Yeah,
Super Lucha.
Super Lucha Cats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
how many issues have you put out so far?
So it takes me a while because it's just me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a day job, so I basically get to work on this when I get home from work. Okay. So that was 2020, and it got a pretty good reception. It got some coverage, and people started latching onto it. So then I knew, like, oh yeah, this is, people were waiting for something like this. And I started working on the second issue, and that's going to come out next Saturday.
Oh, wow.
That's issue 2.
You heard that here. It's an exclusive, number 2, next Saturday.
Yeah, I have the issues right here.
I like the other. I see the other. I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but it says Luchacat, Mice City, and like the Grand. There's that from
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I was reading. It says Mice City. That's pretty funny. I like how you put a twist on those things and stuff. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean that at the time the idea was Luchacats was gonna be like a t-shirt thing. And I was gonna be able to do like parodies and like remixes of fun things just to like
right.
I mean, because as an artist, there's sometimes you just want to draw a thing. You don't really plan on investing much beyond a drawing. And so at the time it was just like, well, I want to draw Lucha Libre cats like in GTA, so I did it and I made it a shirt. But
right, that's cool, man.
More and more people kept asking, like, where's there a story for this? Is this a comic book? What is this cartoon? And you know, here we are now in 2021, gonna put out the second issue, and awesome. so far the community out here has been great about it. They've really enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of things from parents who are giving it to their kids to like learn how to read. I met this little girl in South Pasadena. Her name is Emma. Her dad brought her out to an event I was at, and she was freaking out. And she was showing me how she was learning to read with the comic book and asking me these questions about the characters. And that's a hard feeling to like describe. Like,
yeah, and I'll show her. She's very cute.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So her dad was like, yeah, she's crazy about this book. So whenever you do another one, we're gonna come. She's gonna be here for it. So that kind of makes all of the work and all of that like worthwhile, because it feels great to be able to play that kind of a role in somebody's like literature journey.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing, you never know who you're going to inspire. You know what I mean? And I think, kids nowadays, role models, man, are tough. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of role models out there. But, I have two kids and they just love being artistic and creative. My daughter is actually an amazing artist. She's 12. And I was showing her some of your stuff yesterday. And she's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, and it's good to see, a Chicano, a Latino artist, to be known in his community and inspiring kids like that. I mean, to inspire a kid to read, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, I guess that would be a really hard feeling to describe, but that's got to feel really good, right? That it's like, hey, if I could just reach somebody, one kid, one person, and inspire them, to, hey, maybe be an artist themselves. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, because when you're in the thick of it, like when you're making it and drawing page after page, panel after panel, that journey can get pretty lonely because it's just you drawing, writing by yourself late at night. And then when stuff like that happens, it kind of makes all of that hard work sort of feel like super easy.
That feedback, for sure. Because you don't know what feedback you're gonna get. You might not get any, but when you get something like that, you're like, "Wow, that's gotta like really blow your mind." That would blow my mind. Like, and I'm a Cancer. I'm an emotional guy, so I probably would start crying and shit. I'm just being honest.
Well, hey, we got a couple people commenting. Maricela Gonzalez saying it's awesome stuff. Larry Salas saying my son and I love the first issue and we can't wait to read the second issue. Keep it up, Javier. And Oliver Tabasson, congratulations on a job well done, Primo. So awesome. So you're getting some people showing you some love here in the comment section on Facebook. And if you're just joining us, we have an amazing artist out of LA, Luchacat, telling us all about how he got started, his journey, his love for wrestling. Loves Macho Man, we found out. So
I do.
So hey man, how are you being received by the wrestling community? Like, I bet a lot of the wrestlers they're probably eating this stuff up. I mean, comic books and wrestling and all that. I mean, that's like worlds colliding. that people are very passionate about, right? People in that world, the comic book world and the wrestling world. I mean, shit, we know how passionate wrestling fans are. We got a whole podcast here dedicated to wrestling. So how's the wrestlers receiving you?
Very, very good. They've been super supportive, which was a huge relief. Because as I'm sure you know, wrestling fans are very particular.
Right.
They're very specific.
Right.
They know what they like. They know what they don't like. Yeah. And I've been very fortunate in that regard that a lot of wrestling fans have been buying the book, have been reading it to their kids, have been using it to sort of bridge with their kids into getting them into wrestling, which is super great. Like that's a use of this story that I didn't even consider, was people using it as a gateway for their kids to get into wrestling and watching wrestling with a lot of times their dads. But
right.
Out here, I mean, I've had a great relationship with PCW Wrestling. They've had me at a few of their events, setting up with my merch table, and the fans there really love it. Like I said earlier, Santino Brothers, I was there with them last night. The owner at Santino Brothers actually bought a few books and gave them to his students in the wrestling classes. And when I was at the event last night, a few of them came by the merch table and were like, "Hey, I read this. It's really cool. When are you going to do the next one? I want more." Like that feels really nice to know that, that my love of wrestling got through, so they know that I'm not just like a tourist in this area.
Right.
You're
one of the boys.
Right. It's been very good. I mean, RJN Productions does Lucha Libre shows out in LA, and they've had me at a couple of their events as well. FMLS Lucha Libre out here. I'm doing a show there on the 5th, and they've enjoyed it. So it's been nothing but positive, and that's such a relief.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Have you met any wrestlers that you're like, damn, I never thought I would got to meet them? Is there any wrestlers that you were fans of and you happen to actually meet them?
I mean, I got to shake Tyler Bateman's hand last night, so that's really funny. He just got out of Ring of Honor. He's a local legend out here in LA. I didn't get to meet him, but I got to see Ron Simmons from a couple tables away, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's super nice.
That's what I always hear that about him throughout the podcast, the other podcasts I listen to and stuff. But I've never heard nobody say nothing bad about that guy, man.
Right.
He's a legend. He's a legend. Florida State.
I just want to go up to him just so I can hear him say, "Damn," you know?
Yeah, I know.
When he says that in person, it's as loud as you picture.
I was just thinking that.
That's hilarious.
He says that with so much energy, man. That funny.
Yeah,
that timing. It's that timing, man. You gotta,
when I used to see that on TV, I was convinced that they were doing like audio effects. I was convinced.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
I was like, they're raising the volume on that.
Yeah, it does seem like it. It does seem like it, but no, that's all.
It's
a big
all
deal.
real. But I mean, I did Lucha Expo in San Diego before the pandemic, and they had a lot of luchadores there. So I got to meet a few of them there, they'd walk by all the booths and they'd see mine and stop and look, and you see them smile underneath their mask.
Right.
And I was like, I got it.
That's awesome, right there.
It's been kind of crazy to think that this has opened up those doors to like be able to be in that world I grew up in. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
man, sure. I'm gonna have to come out to LA and hang out with you, man. That sounds like it'd be a blast.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell everybody, where can we find your stuff? Where can we buy your stuff? Your shirts, your comic. I saw you had an Etsy store. Yeah, tell everybody, man, where we can find you at.
If you go to luchacat.com, it'll take you to my Etsy shop. And in there, I've got the first issue right now, as well as some T-shirts. And I'm working on getting some stickers listed there as well. just because some people have seen the stickers that I've handed out at shows and they wonder like, oh, can I buy those? And you know, because a lot of people can't come to LA and be at every convention and show out here.
Right.
They still want to get a piece of everything. So I'm working on uploading that, and then December 4th, we're gonna have a launch party for issue 2 at awesome. Republic of Lucha, which is the store in South Pasadena owned by Rey Fenix and Pentacero.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, I'm looking at the flyer right now. Wow, man.
Man, that's awesome. I would love to meet those dudes. That's going to be something.
Yeah, the staff there is amazing. Shout out to Javier and his wife. They're super, super friendly, super just down for the cause, right? Like they've been running all kinds of events there, charity events, and they're just down for everything. So because they heard me on a radio show out here on Madeline Brand's show, and they reached out to me via email and they said, hey, we have a Lucha Libre store. We're curious if you want to. At the time, it was over Zoom because we weren't yet like doing the face-to-face stuff, and I didn't know that they were building a Lucha Libre store like in South Pasadena. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So we went to go over there, hung out, met them. They were at the time they were still working on setting up the shelf fronts, and they were painting.
Yeah, they got some really cool stuff in that store, man. Wow.
Yeah, man, they're great. when I a while back I threw out the idea of, hey, what if we do the launch party for the second issue at your store? They were like, oh, all right, cool. And then that birthed an idea of doing like a Lucha Libre comic convention at the store. So I was there with Jay Gonzo, who did La Mano del Destino, another amazing Lucha Libre artist. I was there with Caden Phoenix, Jandro Gamboa, Carlo A. Flores, just an amazing group of writers and artists all doing Lucha Libre comics, right? And it was a lot of fun. And from there, both of us kind of realized, oh, we can make people will come to this if we put it out. So we set up the date, and December 4th is the day we're gonna go over there, and we're gonna have a raffle. We're gonna have some coloring pages for kids. Gonna do a story time reading of the second issue with the kids.
Awesome.
So I mean, I can't say enough nice things about them. They've been super supportive, super just down for everything that we've thrown at them, and they've been like, yeah, let's do it. So I can't complain.
Right. Tyra, formerly Tyra Valkyrie. Have you ever met her?
I've seen her live.
She was on one of the flyers for there. So.
Yeah. I've seen her live, and at Expo Lucha, she set up a table across from me.
Wow.
And when she sat down, I was starstruck, dude.
That's why I asked. I'm like, man, she's just an amazing looking woman, like as far as a wrestler and just period. I mean, just she has that star quality, you know what I mean? So
she's one of the most
I was shocked.
performers.
Yeah, I was shocked at WWE release. I was like, oh my goodness, like they just signed her. But that's okay. She'll land on her feet without a doubt. So
yeah, man, it's their loss. If you ever get to see her live, do it, because she's incredible live, dude. She can work the crowd. Her hits look pretty stiff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. When she does the knee, it just everything. But when she does the running and throws her knees or her backside into the women, I mean it's about as real as you can get, man.
Yeah, she's sure.
A lot. I've noticed that about her.
Well, that's awesome, man. So that's exciting. The Lucha Brothers, man, those are probably one of my favorite tag teams in AEW right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Those guys are insane. I mean, AEW is putting on, I feel, a superior product to WWE right now. Currently, it's just fun. It's fun to watch AEW. Are you a big fan of either AEW or WWE or?
I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. Everyone right now is just like there's just so much wrestling going on. You got
there is a lot of wrestling.
You got Impact Wrestling, you got NWA, you got OVW. Al Snow's running OVW out of Ohio. I mean, there's so much. MLW, they just got Enzo. They just brought him on. I mean, there's just wrestling. It just seems
Booker
like
T's
everywhere.
Reality
Booker T's Reality of Wrestling out of Texas.
Yeah,
they just started traveling, so that's gonna get bigger.
Oh, they did.
I've heard him talk about on the podcast that they were gonna start doing, or that maybe not traveling, but they were gonna start doing live shows. Is what it probably was.
Oh, that's exciting.
So they're he's getting things moving for sure. So that's
cool.
That's gonna be another one to deal with, I'm sure. Booker T, and and obviously Booker T is still under contract with WWE, so it's going to be interesting to see what might happen with that, and if Vince McMahon gives him a little booster like he did with ECW back in the 90s. So a lot of people ain't thinking about that yet, but I am.
I didn't know that, to be honest with you. I didn't know that they were going to start doing live shows. That's crazy. In a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you like to watch, man? Are you watching Dynamite? You're watching Monday Night Raw, SmackDown? Are you a Tribal Chief fan? What's going on?
Right now, in terms of TV, I've been doing my best to keep up on AEW.
Right.
I have not been able to keep up on WWE since they moved to Peacock, because I don't have Peacock and I can't really afford to take on another streaming service right now.
I know.
So I have not watched too much of the WWE programming, but the stuff I have watched, it kind of feels like having to sort of dig for what you like there.
That's a good way. That's a polite way of saying it.
Yeah, I mean,
especially the Monday Night Raw.
There's a lot of performers there that I really enjoy. I mean, Bayley is one of my favorite superstars, even though she's out right now.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really help in terms of being able to watch WWE.
Yeah,
but
she was at, she was just hitting that ceiling, man, and she gets hurt, and I was like, not again.
Yeah, man,
she's so bad for them.
She's great. I like Seth Rollins. I like Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn, I think, is doing some amazing character work right now.
I love Sami Zayn. He's just a character, man. He reminds me of somebody that like everybody has a friend like that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you don't talk to him much, but because for certain reasons, but you're cool with him still. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just magnetic on TV. He's one of those people that when he's like moving and talking, your eyes just kind of go to him, regardless of even if he's like dancing in like an awkward tuxedo.
Yeah, as soon as he comes out, I'm just cracking up, man. He kills me.
Yeah, so I mean, I like him. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he should be in the world title picture, but I also don't know how much interest he has in that anymore. Right. But I mean, there's a lot of performers on WWE that I like. It's just it's kind of hard to get into it right now because it does feel like storylines get dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then from one moment to the other, you're expected to care about a golden egg. And
oh my God. So you caught, that was from Survivor Series. And I think everybody was just kind of scratching their head like, what the hell? Like, what is this bullshit?
There's a lot of times where I watch it and I just start to feel like maybe it's not for me anymore.
Right.
Maybe it's for like 8-year-old me. And that's okay. Like if that's what the target is, then that's what the target is. I mean, at one point I was an 8-year-old kid getting into wrestling, and I'm sure there was stuff that the adult wrestling fans were not as into. Like Flash Funk.
Right.
I thought Flash Funk was amazing as a kid. As an adult, I don't know if I would feel the same way. Right?
Yeah, I could see that too. Because when I first seen him, I know he was in ECW, but then he got Like, he was good. So the WWF at the time had, I guess they signed him, gave him a shot. He was different, but
Yeah,
he was kind of like the Godfather, but without the pimple, at the end of it or whatever. Because he would come out with the grills and the feather hat. And,
who
was
is it?
amazing.
Flash Funk?
That Funk Flash or whatever. Yeah.
He's
been
Too
around for a
Cold
while.
Scorpio now.
There you go.
Okay,
That's the name mostly everybody would know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Flash Funk, that I wasn't. But I would watch him in the ring, and he was doing amazing stuff, luchador stuff. So I was like, wow, he's there for a reason. I knew he was there for a reason, whether I liked him or not. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
very talented.
Well, that's awesome, man.
And watching week to week though, it's AEW right now, just because I have TNT and TBS, so I'm able to tune in, and I mean, the stuff going on there is just so much fun.
I gotta ask you.
Fun.
I gotta ask you, Aew Dynamite. I just watched it yesterday, trying to keep up, and the opening promo. Did you catch the opening promo for Aew Dynamite with
Is
MJF
that the one
and
with
CM Punk?
MJF and CM Punk?
Yeah.
I just want to know your thoughts on that, because I was just like, I was in promo heaven. I'm a big talker.
Hey, Javier, before you give your thoughts on that, I do want to let you know we got, if you're familiar with him, he was a guest co-host a few weeks back, from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. He's not going to join us via video, but he is going to join us via audio. He was actually live in Chicago at the show, so I want to hear all about the live reaction, the crowd, his thoughts. Javier, I want to hear your thoughts, and then we're gonna bring the pro on here in just a second. What did you think about that promo, man?
I first of all, I love to boo MJF.
I think someone's at my door.
Uh-oh.
I love to boo MJF. He is so fun to hate. He has such a punchable face. He is working like an old school heel.
Oh yeah.
So it's very nice to have somebody to just throw your vitriol at and just dislike and hope they get their ass kicked. But what CM Punk told him, because MJF was talking for like 8 minutes. And in my head, I'm thinking like, well, what can you say to the stuff he said? Because he went kind of deep with like the UFC stuff.
Man,
and
I loved it.
Calling him number 2 and all this. And like, I was just like wondering, like, how does CM Punk like turn this around, right? Like,
yep.
What is the?
That's what I was wondering.
What's the line that's gonna like get this to like pivot? And my favorite one was when he said, "You're a less famous Miz."
Man, my God! I couldn't believe that he said. I told the host here. I said, "Man, I never thought I would hear nobody call him that on live television, let alone just period."
Well, I want to hear all about the live reaction and what the pro from the Pro Wrestling Podcast thought about it. We're now bringing him into the yard. Here we go. Hey, Pro, are you there?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Good morning or good afternoon. You're in Chicago. We got the 313 Sports Mouth Alex in Detroit. We're talking to Javier Solorzano, Luchacat out of Los Angeles, and I'm in Arizona, so we're all over the place, man. If you just caught us, you probably heard we're talking about AEW Dynamite. You were at the show. We're talking about the Mjf Cm Punk promo. What was your thoughts being there live? How was the crowd? I mean, it was just tell us all about it, man. We want to hear it.
Yeah, watching it on TV doesn't really do it. It was really like the crowd was polarizing, because at one point MJF was making really good points. I don't know if you guys heard it on TV, but at one point the crowd was chanting Cena Punk. It was awesome. But the reaction that he got with the less famous Miz, everybody popped for that one. That was crazy.
Free publicity for the Miz on top of that.
Right, exactly. There was a few moments in there. I'll tell you what, after a while, I don't know, because this might be different on TV, but after a while, I was kind of getting like I thought they were talking for way too long.
Yeah.
After a while,
I think it did go a little long, but still pretty damn great.
it was awesome. It was awesome. Like, I love the part where he said, when he said, I didn't have, I shut the great MJF up without even saying a word.
Yeah.
That was that got a huge pop.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. The Chicago crowd is different.
Mm-hmm.
If they hear something like that they know is like accurate, they'll cheer for that side. It was back and forth the whole night, especially with that promo. It was awesome. It was awesome. But
that's cool, man. I mean, you caught a lot of wrestling this week, so I would love to be able to talk to you about it. Javier, are you able to stay on and kind of shoot the shit with us, man, or you got to go, or what do you got going on?
I can hang for a little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We try not to go too long, but just real quick, Javier, tell us. You said you had a couple things coming up. I think you said December 4th and December 5th. Let's talk about that really quick. Where they're going to be at, what's the times, where they're at.
December 4th is the big one. That's the Super Luchacat Issue 2 launch event at Republic of Lucha in South Pasadena.
And you said that's the one that the Lucha Brothers, they own that store?
Yeah. That's their store right there. And we're going to be there from, I think, 3 to 7 till they close. So we're going to have a lot of activities for kids there.
Damn, man, I want to drive out to Pasadena and go check that out.
Republic
of Lucha.
The name right. Republic of Lucha Presente.
That's December 4th, you said? What is that? Oh, that's like next Thursday, right?
That's a Saturday.
Oh, it's a Oh, it is. Is it?
That's Saturday, December 4th. And we have a lot of cool activities. We're going to do a raffle. We're going to do a story time with the kids. We're going to set up a little spot for people to take photos. We're working on some exclusive merch that's going to be available only there. Wow. I mean, if you want to make the drive, we'd love to have you.
That would be awesome, man. That would be so awesome. It's like maybe 6.5 hours from me. That's a little bit of a hike, but man, shit, I would love to be out there. So that's on December 4th, and I think you said you had something going on December 5th too.
Yeah, there's a Lucha Libre event in LA. I think it's at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. And it's FMLS Lucha Libre. They're gonna have a meet and greet with me and Mascaras there at 1. And they're gonna have it's a Lucha Libre card with Lestat, Angel Baby, a couple local legends, like I would say. And that's gonna be Sunday, so the next day. So if you can't go to South Pasadena and be a part of all the activities, you can still go catch a wrestling show in LA. So I think LA is getting back to the point where every weekend there's going to be a show somewhere in the city.
Right.
That's awesome, man. Independent wrestling is alive and thriving. I mean, coast to coast. And I know the Pro definitely caught some shows here, and we want to hear all about it. Real quick, can you give us your website again, Javier? And then it takes you to your Etsy store, right?
Yeah, if you go to luchacat.com, it'll take you to the Etsy shop. You can find T-shirts, comics there. Working on some stickers, and then I post all kinds of news for all that stuff on Instagram at Luchacat. So I try to be pretty active there. I try to respond to messages. So lots of places where you can keep up on what the cats are doing.
And I think Alex, he was asking, he sent you a message, maybe asking about how to make his cat a luchador.
Maybe I should have started off with the message, and I just said, who I am from ATW podcast. Looking forward to you coming on the show. Instead, I send a picture of my cat. But instead, I sent a picture of my cat first. But
he was still trying to wake up.
I inboxed you. But
all right, cool.
But yeah, so because I seen the picture, the third post, your third post on your Instagram of the cat, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. My cat's sitting right here. It's crazy because I grew up, hating cats, and I hate to use that word, but I gave in and let my daughter get one like 10 years ago, and now it's mine. So I don't know how that happened, but it's all good. It's all good.
You're the stereotype.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Right.
Well, hey, we got the pro on the line. We want to hear all about Dynamite. We want to hear about Rampage because if you don't know, most of the time Rampage is taped after Dynamite. So we want to hear all about it, man. Let's kick off with Dynamite on how it kicked off.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, well, can I ask him a question since if you was there live? Just like you talked about, how the fans, were popping for, seeing MJF and CM Punk's punchlines or whatnot. But so Bryan Danielson, I just want to get your take on that because the guy is like he's so good. He can just he turn the crowd on him and drop him a dime, and just the chants and everything in that promo with him and Hangman Page. So how was that?
Yeah, that's the thing. You guys are big Bryan Danielson fans, and we talked about that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. He really did switch it up, like really fast, becoming a heel. Like it just all of a sudden. I did like it. I don't think it was as good as the CM Punk MJF segment.
No.
But having Hangman come out, man, that was awesome. I love how they. That's the thing I love about AEW is that they tease everything. Like that Hangman ain't gonna hit him with the lariat just yet.
Yeah.
You're gonna wait till the actual match.
Yeah.
Of course, like fans are weird because I saw a few people trying to do the yes chant while his music was playing, but he's a heel. So they're at the same time people were doing the no chant. So it was like they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
The people I was with, sitting next to, I got to say they were probably the worst part. They did not interact whatsoever. So it kind of took me out of it. So I didn't cheer or boo there and listen. But it was good. I liked it.
So what did you think about Bryan Danielson kicking
thing.
Colt Cabana's teeth out?
Oh yeah. There's so much I happened.
Actually kicked
I
him
forgot.
so hard, stomped his ass so hard, he knocked Colt Cabana's teeth out.
Yeah, but we couldn't see it because he was like holding it, right? And you can't see it when the cameras aren't on it. And I'm like, what is he doing?
I got a close-up
and
shot
he's
on
he's holding out his hand. I'm thinking he's like getting a high five from the ref or something. But no, it's Colt Cabana's teeth.
Yeah, if you were watching, I mean, obviously you were at the show live, but if you watched it on TV, you were watching it and he was stomping on him. You see the tooth actually fly out of his mouth. And then he goes and picks it up, and that's what he's holding, and then he's showing the camera.
Would have been awesome if they would have stole something from, like, obviously that was real, that happened. But if it was planned, they could have did like Bloodsport. Remember when the gold tooth was left on the mat, and then the man that was cleaning came over there and just bit it, make sure it was gold, and then wipe the blood up. But that was and when they zoomed in on the tooth, I thought about Bloodsport. I was like, oh my God, they could have did that. Would have been awesome but they didn't plan that, so that's crazy.
No, and it's somebody was yelling in the stands like, "It's a good thing a dentist," and I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Britt Baker. But
So the show Dynamite, man, from top to bottom, awesome. The live reaction. I mean, what'd you think about the show? It's obviously, if you've ever been to a wrestling show live, it's a lot different than when you're watching it on TV. And I think sometimes when you see a show live, it sometimes, I've been to tons of WWE shows. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it could be a little disappointing live, and then you go back and watch it on TV, and you're like, oh, it was actually a better show than I thought.
Yeah, this one was. I mean, I thought it was good from live and on TV. I was sitting. Speaking of the CM Punk MJF, at one point you can see me on TV for like a split second, me doing the DMD after he said Britt Baker was the fourth pillar. So I thought that was cool.
That was great. I love that because I love Britt Baker. When he said that, I popped for that. I forgot about that one.
And then I was sitting probably 4 rows up from where the kid threw the belt back.
Oh my God, that was great.
That was like he got a high five from a security guard.
That was great.
You're talking about the belt got thrown at Cody, right? At Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
man, what is going on? I can't really wrap my head around this whole thing with Cody Rhodes.
They need
I don't know
to
where
turn
they're
him
going with
heel.
it. I don't know what's the deal. It seems like the crowd really hates him. And
Right.
at one point, they even
Tired of
said
him.
they chanted the R word at him. Is that true?
The R word?
Mm-hmm.
What's the R word?
I know.
Well, I'm not
like,
going to say it. This isn't a
If it-
PG show, but I'm not going to say it. They
If it is
chanted
what
the
I
R
think
word
it
at
is,
him.
I didn't hear that at all.
I don't know. It was all over the internet, and I was like, I didn't hear that. I don't know if they edited it
No.
or they cut it out, but it made the internet and made big news on the internet. So I don't know. Maybe that's not accurate, but
they just need to turn him heel and feed
I,
off of
I
that.
think they're trying to make it more than what it is because I didn't hear that at all. But then again, I mean, I wish they would have got my reaction on TV when they did that because I had to get up and get some nachos, get something to eat, and I'm eating these nachos, and I'm like, I sat back down, and then the kid was like holding up the belt, and everybody was telling him to throw it back. I stood back up thinking like, he's not gonna throw it back, is he?
Did
Like
it
I'm at
take
the
him
edge
a
of my
second?
seat.
Like, did he
And
hesitate?
so I put another chip in my mouth, and he throws it back, and my mouth was
wow.
just open with like nacho
Like, oh
cheese
my
all over my mouth,
God.
all over my beard. I was like, what?
Wow.
Somebody was like, oh my God. So actually, I think some guy was actually crying because he threw it back.
Yeah.
He's
Good
like,
thing they didn't get you on camera right there, man. It would have been like the episode of Seinfeld where George has the ice cream sundae all over his face when he's at the tennis match.
yeah.
Oh my God.
It was so, I mean, it was so surreal. Like now looking back, like I was part of that, and now everybody was talking about it. But the whole R word thing, yeah, I did not hear that once. But I was probably just lost in the moment.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about because I watched it on TV. But I did. They were chanting something, but I didn't really pay attention to that. I just know that they were booing him. And he was just trying to play it off like it didn't bother him. He did a good job.
Yeah, like, and seeing and then
talking to people and all that, trying to talk to his tag team partners and stuff. But
and then everybody was saying that it was that it hit Ref or hit Aubrey. It didn't. It wasn't even close.
No. Yeah, I turned my head away for a minute too. I don't know what I was doing, but when I looked back, I just seen the belt in the ring, and I was just like, "Oh my!" Like, whoa, that's crazy. Because I think that happened when he threw the belt out, or he threw something last week. I think it was might have been 2 weeks ago. For some reason, because they were booing him when he came out, I thought somebody was gonna throw that back. I can't remember if it was a belt or what it was, but he threw something to the crowd. It probably was, but I thought they were gonna throw it back then. So.
Yeah,
but
a lot of people were comparing it to the John Cena throwing his shirt into the crowd at ECW.
Right. Yeah,
that's hilarious. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think Alex, you and I, the whole Cody Rhodes thing, where they could go with it. I personally think he should dive right into it, kind of like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was like hated so much, but then the whole "you suck" thing started, and then it's like you hate Kurt Angle, but you love Kurt Angle. Cody Rhodes needs to go watch some old Kurt Angle clips and see how he could maybe tie that in where people they would love to hate him, but you know what I mean? Like something like that. You guys kind of get what I'm saying with that?
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that is that I can't tell if the fans actually hate him or if it's just they're just playing along with it. It's so weird.
Yeah,
like you were saying. I can't wrap my head around it either.
Yeah, all he's got to do is come out with his wife. I mean, they'll hate him if he plays it up that way and get rid of the Arn Anderson coach thing. I mean, Arn Anderson is good as a heel, not as a coach. So, like, I'm kind of getting tired of all of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know why he was bringing him out because he's a fan favorite. He's a legend. So he didn't want, you know what I mean? That's going to make everybody like him even more. But no, now it's just, yeah, they need to do something with that. But I mean, with all the other stars, I was just gonna say with all the other stars, we're doing big things and finally seeing MJF and CM Punk. Now they're using. You got to use that star power. That's like I said a couple weeks ago or last week when I came back. It was like you have to use whether you like the NFL or all sports, you have to use your star players, man. So and now that they're doing that, Cody Rhodes probably take a little back seat, but yeah, I mean, because you don't know how long Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, you don't know how much longer they have, man. So you got to start using that right now, I think, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what other big highlights from the show, man?
I mean, besides the belt and the Punk thing and the Danielson thing. Oh, you know what was funny? Was that the Chris Jericho bit where he called what's his name? Matt from it was a Matt or Jeff from 2.0. Squarehead.
Yeah.
That was funny because we carried that chant into Dynamite.
Oh my goodness.
So I bet people were like wondering, like when they're like, what is this Squarehead? What are they talking about? But
what do you think about the Gun Club, man? What do you think about them getting some time and
the Ass Boys?
There?
Ass Boys.
They're pretty good, man. They're pretty talented, man. I like especially Billy Gunn. I've always liked him. But what do you think about them?
I like them. I just wish now more than ever they get more TV time. It looks like that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
It looks like they're building it right. Billy Gunn versus Sting, right? Maybe.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. By the way, Billy Gunn, I don't know how old he is exactly, but he looks great.
He's always like that. Yeah.
I think he's like 65, man.
He's like,
man, that guy is phenomenal, man.
He's sculpted like a god. Like, oh my god, dude.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, when I used to watch him, when back in the Attitude Era days, but like he would stand up and a lot of guys like Stone Cold and them, they gave him a lot of praise and said he could have been, like Stone Cold was asking questions, to other wrestlers like, well, why couldn't he be the guy, be the man and all this and that? But some talent just have their limits, or they have a certain ceiling. But I thought he was always great, man. He had to run with The Rock for Intercontinental and all that, so that's kind of where it ended. But yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Billy Gunn, man.
Yeah, and his sons are really talented too. And I like how they do this undefeated stuff.
Yeah, they're full blown heels, man. I can't ever see them being baby faces. There's no way. So I want to ask you about another match. Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter, two of my favorites on AEW. What did you think about that match?
I'm sorry, you cut out. I couldn't hear you.
The
Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. What did you think about that? He cut out again.
Are we losing you, bro?
I think there's something wrong with my connection.
You don't have that 5G super speed in Chicago?
No.
Can you hear us now? Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
Well, what did you think about it?
I thought it was pretty solid. Javier. So Thunder Rosa, man, she really. I love to see Latinos on TV, man. She's really embracing that. Is that a wrestler you've come across anywhere?
I love Thunder Rosa.
Is she on the West Coast? I thought maybe she was in California, but maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say it was like 5 years ago. We saw her at a Shimmer show in West Covina.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I had seen her. Like I had not known about her before that, and she was great. I mean, it was a pretty small crowd, and she had us rocking the whole time she was performing. And I immediately went to her merch table. I got a T-shirt, but when she showed up in Lucha Underground, I thought she did good work. And then she was in NWA for a little bit, and when she came out on AEW, I was like, this is it.
That's when I first seen her, when she was in NWA. That's where I first seen her. So it was like,
so she's made her rounds
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's up in for like she's like 35. I didn't know she was, that's not really old to me nowadays, but I thought she was younger, wrestlers, like 29. Yeah, I didn't know I looked her up and I was like, wow, she's 35. I think it's 30.
Okay, I think I'm back.
We got him back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. We were just talking about Thunder Rosa, and Javier here was saying that he caught her in Lucha Underground some years back in California, and Yeah, we were just kind of chatting about that. What was that match like live? What did you think about that? The Jamie Hayter Thunder Rosa match?
I thought it was good. I really wanted Jamie Hayter to win.
Yes, I'm a huge.
But are they
Jamie
building
fan,
towards
man.
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker?
I don't know because she advanced into the semifinals. So
Well, I think they're building towards Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter, and I'm
Oh,
glad
yeah,
they're gonna get her off there because she interfered. She cost her the match. So I was loving that because I want Jamie Hayter to be. She's a star, man. And like a Chris Statlander, maybe even a little bit bigger. In my opinion, I just like her. I like the way she does her promos when she's just standing there. She looks like a full blown heel. I mean, they need to get you got to have those heels, man. They got enough baby faces over there, so I like the bad guys or girls.
It was just so weird because it's so weird when they tape a Rampage because you have to pretend it's like a different day. And
yeah.
So wait, is Rampage tape before Dynamite goes live or is it after?
It's after.
Okay. All right.
They do Dark and then Dark Elevation and then Dynamite and then Rampage.
Okay. Kind of like how they used to do. Kind of like how
WWE back in the day.
Yeah, and then they would do the Sunday Night Heat or whatever it was, like whatever show
right.
they run after. But okay.
That's a lot of wrestling to sit through, man. Shit.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the live or the tape Rampages because the crowd's pretty much tired or going home at that point, and you're not going to get the same live crowd that you did at the beginning of Dynamite. But I mean, all in all, it was pretty good. Well, like I was saying with Britt Baker and that, she came out with her on Rampage, and I'm like, wait, I thought they weren't friends. And I'm sure they explained it on commentary why she came out, but it totally threw me off. I wasn't expecting Jamie Hayter in street clothes either.
Right.
So what do you think about the Rampage shows? It was it like 3 matches, 2 matches?
Yeah, it was about 3 matches.
Yeah.
And I mean, all in all, I thought it was a solid Rampage. I mean,
yeah,
the live ones, I think they saved their best stuff. Honestly, the tape stuff, not so much.
Of course, yeah. That you have to do that. I mean, but yeah, no, that was a solid Rampage. Tony, they introduced Tony Nese versus Sammy Guevara. That was a great match. Eddie Kingston. He's just one of my favorites. Like I put him up there with Bryan Danielson as being one of my favorites right now. I love Eddie Kingston, man. He's just sitting there eating whatever at the table, or he's about to eat a piece of pie, giving love to Jon Moxley, and then these guys I just love everything he does, man.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Jericho because he said he came out after I think the show went off air, and he goes, I don't know what the hell that was about, but all I know is that I won or whatever, and he's like, well, it's not about me. I don't want you to cheer my name when I leave this ring. I want to hear AEW. So everybody was chanting AEW. And he loves that company too. That's another thing.
I bet. Yeah. He was one of the one of the stepping stones. I mean, or cornerstones. You gotta say so. Next to with Cody and Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. So yeah, for sure.
I was just sad.
I love how they're putting him.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just love how they're putting him in all these programs with some like top name guys like CM Punk, and now it's probably going to be Chris Jericho here pretty soon.
Yeah,
probably wants to go after him for helping him out. Even I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of
my theory was somebody else was going to come out.
Oh, did we lose you again? Oh, I didn't know if we lost you again. Hello. From Chicago. Yes.
Yeah.
Chicago. Are you guys having rough weather, man? What's going on?
I guess the buildings block my connection.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Hey, I was gonna say I was just sad that we didn't see the golden egg anywhere on Dynamite or Rampage. AEW poking fun at WWE.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make fun of it either. And on top of that, I didn't see nobody. That would have been, they're too. They need to just worry about their own shows though. They're doing good. Just keep doing what they're doing.
Right.
Don't worry about, let WWE do what they're doing, and but yeah.
Well, speaking of WWE,
take a shot at them.
Speaking of WWE, I want to just kind of, I don't know, Pro, if we still got you, man. If you're on, just we're jumping in. I want to talk about Monday Night Raw was an okay show, but I'll jump into SmackDown. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, coming out and basically saying, almost on the, hey, I'm done. I'm the greatest of all time. I smashed everybody, smashing them left and right. I mean, the segments are a little long.
Paul Heyman.
Somebody said, he takes like 8 minutes to get to the ring. I mean, they cut to commercial break sometime. Him going to the ring. I mean, it's getting a little too ridiculous in my opinion. But I thought it was pretty funny though that he's saying that he's the greatest of all time, and there ain't really anybody left.
Right. When you're the head of the table, man, you can take as long as you want, man, to walk down that ramp. And you got Paul Heyman with you, man. And the way Paul Heyman looking at you like it's his father, like he's just like, I love it, man. Like I said, I just get a kick out of that. I actually watched that with a friend of mine, and he don't really watch that now, but he kind of watches it a lot more now, the SmackDown, and even he was like, yeah, that guy's a character, man. So I just love what they're doing. And like I said, it's just pure entertainment, and it's so great. And with the way he is, Paul Heyman with Caleb Braxton, and just that, she's always scaring him, when the actuality Paul Heyman's always just scaring himself, before the pre-interviews, just that little connection that they got. I like how they're playing off of that. So I don't know what you guys thought.
Javier, are you a Roman Reigns fan?
I do. I liked Roman Reigns back when he was still getting all that crap from everybody for keeping the Shield music and not really using the outfit when they broke up and all that stuff. But I mean, I think he's one of the more talented dudes they've got. I just think they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit, waiting to turn him heel. It took a long time to do that, and I don't know what the holdup was.
Well, shit, now you got one of the longest championship reigns in a while, which I'm kind of over, but I don't know. He's pretty much, like you said, he squashed everybody. Brock Lesnar is supposed to be coming back from suspension. I don't know if they're just gonna jump right back into that or what the deal is. The WWE product is a little weird right now.
It's a little quicker than I thought. They would announce him coming back.
Yeah,
just a little bit quicker. I don't know what anybody else thought, but yeah.
Well, if they do Brock and Roman again, I don't know how much of an appetite I have for that, because I feel like that's the match we've been seeing for like 4 years now. But I mean, I kind of like the match. I saw clips of his match with Big E, and that was a lot of fun for me personally. I thought that was pretty cool to see those guys kind of throw down.
Yeah, that was a good match. Sure.
And I would not mind seeing more of that, but it's kind of hard just because they're on separate shows. But I think Roman is one of those dudes who can make it. He's the guy you put your guy next to make him look important.
Right, give him the rub, as they say.
Yeah. He's got the presence, and I think now that he's actually heel, he looks like he's having some fun.
Right.
For a minute there, he looked kind of miserable just coming out and everybody just booing their heads off at him.
Yeah, he's coming out smiling and shit, and just like, come on, man. No, I love, like, even with the, when you come out wearing just the red glove, just a little detail shit, that things like that he does it's badass, man. So yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see what the buildup is going to be going into Royal Rumble, which is like one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. Always excited to watch the Rumble. I don't know, man. WWE's product right now is a little confusing. You almost don't feel like you want to get too invested because the dude might be fired like next week, might not even be on the show. So it's like they released how many wrestlers?
At that.
They released like what 30 wrestlers in the last month, something. It's like a wrestler for every day of the month they've released pretty much.
Right.
Hey, Pro, I think we got you back on, man. Are you there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, yeah, we were just kind of talking about SmackDown. Brock Lesnar's suspension getting lifted. I don't know if you caught SmackDown at all or you caught Monday Night Raw or maybe you've heard about the golden egg roaming around that everybody's looking for.
I heard about that golden egg. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you know what? They said was it worth $100 million?
Yeah, some shit like that. But
Maybe
it has to do with the tie-in
towards
to
the budget cut problem that they got.
Right? But it has to do with the tie-in to Rock's movie, right? Red Notice. I don't know. Any of you guys watch the Rock's movie?
Yeah, because we don't have time to put the young guys over, so let's put a guy over that's not even there. Right. But yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's for that movie, The Red Notice.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't put those two things together.
Yeah.
No, I'd only read about that. That's what.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna go with that. I don't know if they're trying to confuse us with the Brock Lesnar coming back and the Aew with the Rock movie. Like maybe they're is it gonna be a three-way? Who knows? I mean, you never.
That storyline was so trash. Like, who stole it? Oh, it was. Austin
usually,
Theory.
Right. I mean, you know what? Usually, the way I look at it. When I see Vince McMahon on TV, it's only because of one reason, and it's to boost up some ratings. And I guess it helps. I don't know how much it helps.
There's some children,
but yeah, for sure. And at the same time, maybe lose a couple fans with the egg thing. Just the storylines are just all over the place. I was
right. Well, we just got somebody commented said that the Red Notice movie was pretty good. So I guess maybe. If I have time, I'll check it out. I just don't understand how they plugged The Rock talking about 25th anniversary Survivor Series debut, blah, 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 blah. And then he doesn't even show up. I mean, shit, they couldn't even get like a video of him saying, hey, something, giving a shout out to the WWE fans.
And you know what? Real quick, I thought that, I think it was Becky Lynch that was cutting a promo. She said she did the Rock line. It doesn't matter what, so I was like, oh my God, is he really going to show up? But once again, they did that just to tease you,
right? And then
I would have been happy with the gobbledygooker, like I told you last week. I mean, that would have been more entertaining than this, but
right, more entertaining than the Red Egg, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting week for WWE post Survivor Series, which Survivor Series was, I thought, a solid pay-per-view. Monday Night Raw was solid. It was okay. To me, I prefer Monday Night Raw over SmackDown. SmackDown might as well just change it to the Roman Reigns show,
right?
Because it's a 2-hour show and he takes 8 to 10 minutes just to get out to the ring, and then him talking, he's basically taking up like 30% of the show, which is kind of ridiculous. But I don't know, man. We'll see where it goes. AEW, they got the big buildup right now. MJF versus CM Punk. I think everybody's just dying to see that. Bryan Danielson looks like he's going to run through everybody in the Dark Order. You still got all these free agents out there, man. Where they're going to show up? The former WWE superstar, The Fiend, Wyndham Rotunda. Where's he going to pop up? Yeah. Adam Shearer, Braun Strowman, whatever he wants to call himself now, the Titan. You got so many guys, so many big names out there. It's an exciting time to see where all these guys are going to pop up. Any predictions on going into the end of the year here? Where do you think some of these guys are going to pop up at? Javier, we'll let you go first, man. What do you think?
I'm going to go ahead and say John Morrison's probably going to go to Impact.
Oh, wow.
That looks like a good fit.
I think he's got history there. I think the Johnny Impact gimmick can get his wheels greased a little bit. And then after that, if he wants to do AEW, he can. I don't know how he would turn the Johnny last name thing into over there, but
right.
I think he could do a lot of fun stuff over on Impact right now.
You think him and his wife will pop up over there?
Probably, because I mean Taya was there, right? in like 2018, 17, around there. She was like the women's champion, right?
Yeah.
She cleaned the house.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to just see them show up and just run roughshod over the roster over there for a little bit. Maybe as heels.
What about you, Pro? Where do you think some of these big names are going to pop up at? I don't think anybody else is going to show up in AEW, no matter how much everybody's wishing for it. I don't really see them adding anybody else.
Yeah, I don't really want them to add anybody else, except I'm a little disappointed in you, Tony. I thought you were going to name Danhausen.
Oh, Danhausen. Well, he's got a broken leg right now. That dude's not popping up anywhere.
No, he could, man. I don't care. He could come out in a wheelchair. I don't care. No, but
you can always cut a promo like Paul Heyman told Stone Cold. You can talk, right?
it'd be funny to have like backstage segments with him, just like, you know, being annoying backstage towards the talent, and he's just cutting a little segment promo on them. But yeah, I agree with you though. I feel like sorry if you can hear my car door. I feel like not everybody needs to go to AEW or whatever. There's so many other places to go right now. So many big names that could go somewhere else and make a name for themselves, especially like Impact. You know, Impact could use some more people, I think. I don't know if they got the budget for it, because they don't have the budget as like a WWE or a AEW does, but I mean, they could definitely use some big names. Like, I thought for sure Adam Shear would have been there. But I don't know. It's just, you know, that's the beauty of it. You don't know.
Well, I think right now, one of the guys who's making himself very vocal, which is, I hope I don't see him, but Ric Flair is trying to position himself to go to AEW. He says he wants to die in the ring. That's what he said he'll never work for WWE again. He made that very clear. He said he would love to pop over in AEW and wants to wrestle Sammy Guevara. Anybody hear about this?
Oh my God!
What?
Yeah, Ric Flair wants to wrestle Sammy Guevara, and it's actually it says there was $100,000 thrown out to wrestle Sammy Guevara. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, or Ric Flair just talking just to talk.
That's almost like Oscar De La Hoya and Mayweather. He wants to fight like guys like 56 years old and offering $100,000. I was like, so you want to pay a guy to beat you up? Okay. Like, come on, man. I know that's boxing, this wrestling, but still, it's not that far away from each other. But
so Tony Khan, if you're listening, please don't bring Ric Flair back.
Yeah, he wants to die in the ring. Little does he know his career died a little bit ago.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, he got canceled. I got a couple of people commenting. They said, "What about Ernest the Cat Miller?" If you guys remember Ernest the Cat Miller from WCW days.
Of course.
We got Norman. Somebody said Norman Smiley.
That was your brother's guy, Norman Smiley. You gotta say Smiley. Yeah, and he's a trainer. I think he's a AEW trainer, ain't he?
Oh, really? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys are backstage right now. You got guys that you haven't heard from in years that somehow are still trying to stay relevant, like Disco Inferno, who's got a podcast, or he's talking somewhere, but basically just kind of just talking shit about a lot of wrestlers. And I'm not sure why. I mean, that guy was like maybe one of the worst WCW characters ever.
That's
Disco
a
Inferno.
Weird thing about these wrestlers who got lost under the light, and people who are not, you know, their go-to is to always talk shit, and I don't know why.
Right.
Like, that doesn't give you publicity. It makes people turn off because they don't want to listen to nothing but negativity all the time.
Right. Well, he was being used in the right way, because he was on Vince Russo's show for a very long time, and then he was on Conan's show. So the way he was playing his character, he wasn't. I mean, and it was a little bit of both, actually. No, it was a little bit of both, because I heard things about him that, you know. So he just was speaking his mind, and, you know, of course that's gonna cause, you know, controversy. But I mean, hey man, that guy had a long run. You know what I mean? Hey, he could say he was part of NWO Wolfpack. I mean, he has a pretty decent resume there. So for using that character, I think he I think he did a pretty good job. That's just me, but
I mean, to be a part of the Wolfpack, I mean, they probably had
You know
the
what I'm
local
saying?
janitor at every arena.
Yeah,
every
they
time
did.
went,
Hacksaw-
they were part of
yeah.
the Wolfpack, so
yeah.
that doesn't really say much.
And they kind of, it was towards the end of WCW, you know, falling apart, obviously, but
it's like 90% of the locker room was in NWO, man. I mean, that's just crazy.
Right.
I forgot that Disco Inferno was in the Wolfpack. I totally forgot about that.
Exactly.
I think everybody did, but Alex, for some reason, he remembered. So basically, what he said was he came out on a podcast, the Keeping It 100 podcast, which I don't know if that's his.
That's Conan's.
Oh, Conan. So he said that AEW has botched CM Punk's return. He says that Punk stock is dropping, and you wouldn't want to work with him when he's a penny stock. So I guess what they're saying is that he didn't come in hard enough, and his stock has dropped, according to Disco Inferno, who never had any stock. So I don't know, man. You got a lot of these guys that are just coming out of the woodworks and just bashing shit. I wonder if Vince McMahon is paying people to bash AEW. It almost seems like, right?
Didn't Eric Bischoff do that not too long ago too?
Yeah, but he's been talking shit about everybody. Talking shit about Vince, talking shit about WWE, AEW, Tony Khan. Eric Bischoff is just bored in the woods somewhere, doing his podcast from his home office. Yeah.
Right.
Hey guys, but I want to thank you. I know we're running a little long today. I want to thank our guest, Javier Sorlosano out of Los Angeles, the Luchacat. Javier, go ahead, tell everybody where they can find you again, man, on Instagram, Facebook, websites, your Etsy store. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Luchacat. On Facebook, it's Luchacats with an S. I think past me forgot the password for Luchacat without the S on Facebook, so that's my mess up. But if you want to visit the shop, it's at luchacat.com. I'll take you to the Etsy place. Comics, t-shirts, gonna put stickers there pretty soon. So yeah, and then maybe we'll see Tony Twist on Saturday here in LA.
I'll see if I can pop over, man. I would love to come down to go to that store, the Republic of Lucha, owned by the Lucha Brothers. I mean, that's really cool, man. Take lots of pictures, post lots of stuff. That's gonna be awesome. And then, hey, we got the pro from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. He had some technical difficulties, but he joined us today. He gave us a rundown of Aew Dynamite, Rampage, what he thought about the Golden Egg. Tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
The Golden Egg.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at the Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm on Twitter too. You can find me there. I'm at the PW Pod, and I try to do a YouTube episode every Wednesday. You can find me on YouTube if you like. Yeah, that's about it. Same name, goes by the same name, Pro Wrestling Podcast. I do have a interview this week with Invictus #1 contender for the women's championship, Kaya McKenna. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, I am your host, Tony Twist. I got Alex, the sports mouth of the 313. Want to thank you guys for joining us today on this Sunday.
Thank you.
Go check out some football if you want. But hey, I think I'm gonna go take a nap. Thank you guys.
No Lions for me this week. I'm lucky man.
Don't even want to get into
blessed.
that.
I'm blessed.
Hey, it's this.
Hey, Michigan won over Ohio State, and Ric Flair actually gave the University of Michigan a shout out.
Ric Flair knows what's up, man. He knows what's up.
Yeah, he just can't wrestle anymore.
He's not always wrong.
He's not always wrong. Right. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Happy Sunday. Check us out on Facebook, ATW Podcast, ATW Podcast for Life on Instagram. I'm your host, Tony Twist, and we're out of here. Have a good one.
Yep. Peace. You guys have a good